Welcome to the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship from Slovakia Ring, race day number 2 and the second race weekend of the season. It's grid walk time and the fans are coming from Hungary, Austria, of course, Slovakia, Germany and all over. So it's quite packed over here. We have a lot of fans who are wearing red because Norbert Kisch, of course, has a huge fan base over here. But there are also fans who have been long time with Jochen Hahn. And they're always having a battle going on that only has like the tiniest seconds in between them when it comes to timing. So let's see how the story goes for today. But before heading over to the race, of course, I'd like to welcome Chas Draycott, our English commentator.
Thank you, Lena. Hello, everybody. Chas Draycott here for the 2024 Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. We are well into the swing of things here for day 2 at the Slovakia Ring, and it is mighty exciting stuff once again from qualifying into race 1. And we have Norbert Kisch on pole position and Jochen Hahn alongside him, a front row that we've become very familiar with in recent times. We'll have a quick look at how they got there, though. As we just mentioned, we had qualifying just earlier this morning. Our usual Q1, Q2, Q3 session with Q1 and Q2 combined into a 25-minute running. It was usual order near the front, although a little bit of shenanigans further down the order for Louis Requenco, who had a bit of an off towards the end of one of his fast laps. But Jochen Hahn actually went quickest in qualifying 1. Norbert Kisch about a tenth and a half behind him, and then hoping to improve from there. John Newell was hoping to improve after his turbocharger blew, and the team put in a lot of effort in the pit lane to get it fixed there and then. Unfortunately, they weren't able to get it done in time, and they basically subscribed themselves to the fact that they would go out and get it done a little bit later on. Antonio Albacete wasn't really flying as high as he has done before and would eventually qualify in 5th position on the grid after qualifying 3, but there were multiple drivers out there trying to improve. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez, Luke Garrett and Louis Requenco doing the full 25 minutes on the circuit to try and improve. But unfortunately, Requenco was the only one that would improve up to 9th place outright, 3rd in class. Nobody else was able to improve beyond that. It was then time for Q3, the final shootout, which would be the top 6 drivers: Norbert Kisch, Jochen Hahn, Sascha Lenz, Andre Kurzim, Antonio Albacete and birthday girl Steffi Halm heading out onto the circuit. And Norbert Kisch would eventually take a very, very powerful pole position, almost half a second clear of Jochen Hahn, with Sascha Lenz 3rd, but Andre Kurzim with his best qualifying performance of the season in 4th place. There is the new turbocharger fitted to the number 18 MAN of John Newell. John and the team working very hard between the races to make sure that's all set up and ready to go. Lovely looking machine, the number 18 of John Newell. There he is actually by the pit wall, taking a moment before the race to try and stand in some form of shade wherever he can. Stood there with Stefan Honens and the team. Happy to get racing once again. They're watching the air display that's going on at the moment. There's a fantastic Slovakian stunt pilot that does the rounds here at the Slovakia Ring, and he's a very, very good entertainer. Very adept with his aircraft. But you can see beautifully presented all the trucks on our grid. It's a fantastic looking grid of machines. And we have there on the grid Steffi Halm, who of course is celebrating her birthday today. As I've told you many times, it's her 21st birthday if you ask her. But Steffi has been the centre of attention for today, and we had a little surprise for her earlier on in the day in the paddock. Steffi presented here by Iveco a birthday cake for her big day, joined by everybody that could be there. Wonderful representatives from the FIA and other drivers as well, and even a bottle of champagne from Jochen Hahn and the team. And Janine Mayer as well. What's better than 1 bottle of champagne is 2. I can tell you that for free. But a great celebration and a lovely moment for Steffi. She is hugely appreciated amongst the paddock. Everybody loves her. She is a great character. And again, it's a fantastic highlight of everybody getting along in this paddock. You know, we always say one truck family. You'll see that hashtag and that mantra everywhere around the sport. But honestly, everybody gets on so well behind the scenes in the racing. It's just a great, great place to be. Here is the air display going on at the moment over the circuit itself as well. Excellent fun to watch, and certainly keeps me entertained as well, with the fact that, you know, I'm a huge aviation nerd. A lot of my friends know that. So to have truck racing and aviation tied together at one venue, what a fantastic day this must be. But yeah, Steffi Halm on her birthday, hoping for silverware, hoping for some sort of glory on the day. We'll have to see how she gets on. She had silverware yesterday in race number 2, finishing second outright. Louis Requenco will be hoping for a little bit more luck in this race compared to what he had in qualifying. He went off during his fast lap, so we'll hopefully be moving forward in the order from here. He's going to start third on the grid in class, though, in the gorgeous green Iveco. So he's still got opportunity to get some silverware, at least, from the podium. He just needs to basically hold his position in the Chrome class. They have the 2 classes, let's not forget, Titan and Chrome. They're perfectly split on the grid for this race as well. The top 6 positions taken up by Titan drivers, and the second set of 6 positions taken up by Chrome drivers. We're going to head down onto said grid, though, because Lena is there for us.
Yeah, right in the fan village, and there's so much happening for everyone who's really enthusiastic about truck racing. Of course, we also have posters to be signed by the drivers, and there were so many people around today. Have a look for yourself. Family, and as I mentioned beforehand, from Austria, Germany, Slovakia, Hungary, you name it. I'm not even sure who is the one who traveled the farthest. I'm pretty sure they're from like the United Kingdom, because as we have a lot of drivers from England, they don't hesitate to come over and also watch the races over here. So a big hello over to Great Britain at this point. And yeah, this is what it looks like when you're here as in person, and maybe you have a chance. There are so many more races this year. Of course, we will be at Nürburgring for the Truck Grand Prix. We will be in Most. We will be in Zolder, Belgium pretty soon. Spain, of course, will be on the list as well. So if you have a chance, just click on the homepage and come by. Okay, Jess, back to you for now.
Thank you, Lena. Yes, absolutely. The autograph session is a wonderful place to get to see the drivers up close, have a quick chat with them as well. The appreciation for the drivers and the teams there is always brilliant. And if you do get a chance to go to one of our race meetings in the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship, please do so. It is great to see the turnout that we get. Here's one of the drivers that Lena mentioned, travelling over from the United Kingdom, Mark Taylor and the Taylor's Truck Sport team. He's actually teamed up this season with Jose Eduardo Rodriguez in the team's championship as well. And they've got a lot of pedigree behind them, have Taylor's team, racing in the British Championship successfully as well. Air display continuing on overhead. Unfortunately, out of altitude reach for our tripod by the look of it. But still, constant entertainment here at the Slovakia ring. Lots of fans in the grandstands, as you can see. And it doesn't look that warm, but I can tell you that it is. Again, it's a bit of a muggy environment. It's very humid down there at the circuit itself. There is the left rear quarter of Jose Eduardo Rodriguez's truck. He is tied for the championship lead in the Chrome class with Stefan Fass, both of them on 75 points coming into this race. They will be both trying very hard indeed to get one over on one another. I can tell you that Stefan Fass is on the grid. You can just see him in the background of shot there. They had a engine that was basically not firing on one of the cylinders earlier on, so they were trying to figure out which of the cylinders it was, really strip the engine back and get to it. So by the look of it, they've got that fixed, and hopefully the race goes straight forward for them and the team. We'll have to wait and see. But everybody's all geared up and ready to go here for the third race of the weekend, round 7 of the championship here in 2024. And it's going to be a mighty busy time. Can anybody stop Norbert Kish? You'll have to stick with us to find out. But in just a moment's time, I will be going quiet once again, as we often do during our race broadcast. Kisses for everybody from Steffi. Great to see her in such high spirits here. But as mentioned, I'm going to go quiet in just a second. We're going to welcome our international TV audience from around the world. And then it'll be back over to Lena to reintroduce us. And we'll be back with you in another few moments' time.
Big hello to all the fans of the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. My name is Lena Vandemars and this is Davide Califano. of course, from Goodyear, as you can see. And there are so many tires that already have been used for this weekend. So let's speak a little bit about sustainability, because there is a specific reason why all these used tires are standing there, not to be looking good and to be collected by the fans. No. They're going a very different way.
Yeah, it will be difficult for the fan to collect them because they are quite bulky and heavy, so not easy for them. But the reason why they're here, because normally we bring these tires back to our factory and then we retread those tires as normal tires that will go on normal trucks like the one that you see here. And that's basically helping to reduce the waste, so that also basically we give a second life to these tires here.
Yeah, that's a very nice idea. And all those truck drivers out there who already are driving Goodyear, they already might have a tire that already has a mix of race tires on the surface. So I really like that there's a little spirit of all these race tracks. Do you mark them somehow? This one comes from Slovakia Ring?
No, but we know which are the tires for which we use the carcass, because what is important is that the carcass of this tire is a standard carcass, so it's the one which is on the normal tire, and that's why we are able to retread them. And we, of course, we exactly know which are the ones that are coming from racing.
Okay, we have 12 teams for this weekend, and there are a lot of tires. So how many tires do they get fresh and new for the beginning of the race weekend? And how are they supposed to use all of them? Can they only use 4 or 6 in this case, because it's track racing?
So this is defined by the FIA regulation, and each team can get a maximum 6 new tires per day, so it's 12 tires in total. So also what we see is that sometimes it's not needed to get all the 12. Some teams manage to use less. And also, as of this year, we have introduced a new tire compound. And also what we have seen in the first 2 races is that these tires are lasting longer, which is also good for the sustainability, because it means that the overall number of tires that's going to be used in the championship probably is going to be lower. So that's also one of the objectives that we had with the development of the new tire compound.
Yeah, we also have a new mix of the tire, or the rubber of the tire, because when it comes to raining, they are not changing over to rain tires, no matter what the weather is like. If it's hot or cold, they're always on the same tire.
Yes, the new compound also, that was the initial objective of this program, also was to provide a tire with better wet grip. As you said, the teams are using the same tires on dry and wet, which is not always the case in motorsports. Of course, it's a challenging trying to find the right balance. But with this new tire, we're very happy because we managed to improve the wet grip, also the dry handling, and also the, as I said before, the durability of the tire. So that's, in the end, it was a very good match. We are very happy about the results that we've seen so far. And especially here in the Slovakia Ring, which is the most challenging circuit for the tires because of the tarmac, which is very abrasive, and also because there are some curves that are done at full speed. It's very, very challenging for the tires. What we saw yesterday, that compared to the previous year, we are in much better situation. The tires look much better, and also some teams have been able to use the tires that they used yesterday to use it today as well. So that was very good for us.
Okay, so thank you so much. Let's see how the race goes and how many fresh and old tires there are on the trucks, and who was having the best chest in their mind when it comes to tires and racing. Chess, back to you.
Thank you, Lena. Thank you, Davide. Always great to hear from Davide Califano. He always gives a very good interview. And like you hear there, the sustainability methods behind the championship always run deep. And as you can see from Goodyear, they are taking it mighty, mighty seriously. Hello, everybody. Chaz Draycott here in the UK for the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. And we are here at the Slovakia Ring once again. One of my favourite venues on the entire calendar. I really do love this place. It's a very unique circuit, a massive, long, wide circuit with lots of flowing corners. You'll see it here, a really interesting shape, almost like a karting circuit, and that sounds crazy in itself, but when I elaborate on the fact that it's one of those circuits that goes back on itself multiple times, the hairpin down there in the middle of the lap at turn 6 is 3 layers of circuit deep, because you've got the run from turn 1 to turn 2, and then the run from turn 9 to turn 10 on the outside of it. So it really is a sort of self-contained arena of a circuit. It's a bit warm out there today at 25 degrees Celsius. Not as hot as it was yesterday afternoon, but at the Slovakia Ring, it tends to get warmer and warmer all the time. When it's difficult conditions here as well, you're talking nearly 3 minutes a lap. The pole time for this race was 2 minutes 42. 2.285 from Norbert Kiss. You see it confirmed on the right-hand side of your screen there. He was ahead of Jochen Hahn by almost half a second, 0.467 of a second. A really solid advantage there for Norby. And it's going to be Sascha Lenz and André Kurzim that are on the second row, a full German second row of the grid. Antonio Albacete qualifying only 5th, his worst qualifying of the season in light of André Kurzim's best qualifying of the season. Steffi Halm on her birthday got into the top 6 positions, and then it's all the Chrome drivers next up. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez hoping to take the championship lead in this race, with Mark Taylor alongside him on the front row of their group, with Louis Requenco and Luke Garrett completing the top 10 positions for this one. Then it's John Newell, who will start in 11th place. He will actually start ahead of Stefan Fass, but neither of them put in contributing lap times. So on the graphic, it just shows the other way around there. But John, I believe, actually, no, John is going to be on the left-hand side of the grid. So I do apologise. John will be in 12th position. He did actually do a time, though, in qualifying, so that intrigues me. Not quite sure if he had a time thrown out or something. We'll hop back down, though, into the centre of the action, and we'll speak to Lena.
There are so many fans over here wearing red, which of course has a very special meaning. It's all for the champion, for Norbert Kiss, who already really had nice races and always ended up first place. Norbert, what does it mean to you to have so many fans around at this specific racetrack?
Yeah, it's always nice. We always love to go to the Hungary ring as well. But now it's Slovakia ring, it's our home circuit. So yes, a lot of Hungarian fans, a lot of people in red t-shirts. So we are really happy about it.
Do you push extra when you see that there are so many fans for you, or are you totally in your race mode once you're starting out?
There is no extra. We always try to push 100%, but the feeling is different. So of course it feels very good when you have so much people cheering for you. So it's really a proud moment.
It's time to turn on the engines. Good luck to you and to all the fans out there who are, of course, looking forward to watch a really stunning race again, which I have a feeling this one might become. Jess, back to you.
Yeah, this is bound to be a good one, this. The first race of the day is always mighty exciting. Drivers wanting to get their day off to the best of starts. And they also need to consider the reverse grid element for the second race of the day, which comes not long after as well. The next broadcast, by the way, the final race of the weekend will be at 25 to 4 local time. So we've still got a good bit of time before then, and so have the teams. So between the two races, they'll have lots of time to work on the trucks and figure anything out if they have to after this first race. There's the Reverse Racing team making their way off. The Don't Touch Racing Berlin team as well, and T-Sport Bernau. There is the number 2 machine of Jochen Hahn, the Iveco, starting on the front row. And what's that coming over the hill? Well, it's a Ford F-Max, the wonderful official truck of the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. A truck that was designed and tested by 500 Ford engineers over 5 years, and across 4 continents they used over 200 prototype units, and there was over 15,500 hours of lab testing combined with 5 million kilometers of road testing to produce the modern day Ford F-Max. It's a great looking machine, and as I often say, I really would like to see a racing version of the Ford F-Max developed by one of the teams. It just depends on obviously the chassis rails and getting the cab itself as well to be able to develop it past that point. As we've seen, the field often full of MANs and Ivecos, the odd Scania, but it would be awesome to see a racing Ford F-Max represented somewhere around the world. We have our very own lovely May Fisher at the wheel of the F-Max. I've noticed as well from the earlier footage of the autograph session that she's actually sporting blonde hair for this season. She actually had black hair last season, did May. Really does suit her though, and I'm sure she's having a fantastic weekend. She really is such a positive character to have amongst our team here in the ETRC. There is our 12 truck field then, looking beautiful as ever, so well represented and so well presented, all of the teams here. They really do take pride in how their trucks look and how they are presented to the fans and even the officials as well. You can see on the right hand side of shot there the F-Max making its way back into the pit lane after its inspection lap. You could also see Rolf Werner there on the grid as well, the only man, like I said yesterday, to retire but at the same time not retire. Loves being a part of the championship, loves being around the truck racing, and he continues to be a part of the team that makes these events run so smoothly. 10 seconds to go on the board. Beautiful timing indeed by our director. And at 12:50, the field will get moving. There goes the Iveco S-Way. led away with Frank the Tank at the wheel. Green flag flies, and our formation lap for round 7 of the championship will get underway. The Iveco S-Way itself that you see there at the front of the field, the big gorgeous blue tower of power that it is bio-LNG powered. It reduces the emissions by up to 95%, and as a driver you will not notice any difference in how you have to drive the machine or how you have to go about its daily operation. It is a great bit of kit, the Iveco S-Way, and Frank is certainly a big fan of the machine. I'm lucky enough to have been around a couple of circuits in the passenger seat of that thing and feel the power and torque that it delivers. It really is a cool bit of kit, and the interior on it as well, I have to say, is absolutely gorgeous. It's got some fantastic seats on it. I'm hoping that one day, if Iveco ever want it back, they might not be too worried about the fact that there might be a seat missing. It'd make a great desk chair, I can tell you, for my office. But Frank leads the field round here at the Slovakia ring for the 3rd formation lap of the weekend, and for the 4th time this season it's Norbert Kish starting race 1 of the day from pole position, with Jochen Hahn joining him on the front row. Those two side by side once again. As I said yesterday, 11 championship titles between those two drivers. Norby looking to equal Jochen Hahn's legendary 6 titles this season. Sasha Lenz, with his best qualifying of the season, will start in 3rd place. Same too for Andrei Kurzim, starting in 4th, both of them exceeding their previous results in qualifying. Antonio Albacete will be looking to move forward from 5th on the grid, while birthday girl Steffi Halm will start in 6th position, the outside of row 3. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez leads the Chrome drivers ahead of Mark Taylor. They start together on row 4 of the grid. Mark looking for some big points here in this one. Only 1 podium in the class so far this season for Mark. He's ahead of Louis Requenco, with Luke Garrett getting inside the top 10 for the first time this season in qualifying. Behind them, Stefan Fass and John Newell both having technical issues and engine-related troubles during the qualifying session and the start of the day, so they will be hoping to score big points here and make progress past the likes of Garrett and Requenco. 6 drivers in the Titan class, 6 drivers in the Chrome class for this weekend, an even split between the two, and our 2 classes roll on circuit together, and their class position is what scores them the points. So even if, for example, you are Jose Eduardo Rodriguez and you go from 7th to 6th, overtaking Steffi Halm, who is a Titan driver, he will not get more points for finishing 6th than he would for finishing 7th, because either way he'd be leading his class. So the drivers have to take a very level-headed approach to the racing and really think about it. They've got to be mighty careful. We're missing Heinrich Clemens Hecker this weekend as well. We also had Bradley Smith at Misano with us. We hope that wherever they may be around the world this weekend, they are having a good weekend, and we look forward to hopefully seeing them both back on track later in the season. We'll also be seeing Ollie Janes on the track as well at some point during the championship. Ollie will be returning in the Freightliner that we saw Bradley Smith driving at Misano, which will be great to have. Another British driver on the grid as well. We have Norbert Kish, though, ready to lead the field away for another exciting race here at Slovakia. 8 laps of this colossal circuit. And a massive challenge for everybody. There you get an idea of the size of these trucks as well, compared to the Hyundai i30N medical car at the back of the pack. I remember there was the footage that I'd say almost went viral from the Nürburgring a couple of seasons ago. There was an issue with the safety car, and the prototype Cup was on circuit with their LMP3 cars. But instead of having the safety car go around, we actually sent out our pace truck, and it showed a real size comparison between those racing machines, those prototype cars, and our pace truck. It was wonderful to see it. Really, really funny stuff. Everybody absolutely loved it. So 2 by 2 they go, down towards turn 13. An almost 270-degree right-hander goes almost completely back on itself before leaning into turn 14, the left-hander, as they head down the start-finish straight here at the Slovakia ring. You can see the military museum in the background there with what I believe is an Mi-24 Hind helicopter. But I'll hold back my aviation interest and focus on the action at hand here, which is, of course, the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. 3rd race of the weekend about to get underway. Round 7 of our 2024 campaign, led away by Norbert Kish. Jochen Hahn lines up alongside him, tries to get rid of the gap, And the green flag flies and we're underway at Slovakia Ring here on Sunday, and it's a great start by Sasha Lenz, not so much a good start by Andrej Kurzim. Kurzim drops back and down the inside straight away goes Antonio Albacete to try and gain some ground. You could see John Newell poking out in the background there, all the way around the outside trying to get by. Luke Garrett just in front of him, Stefan Faas going down the inside of him. Norbert Kish holds onto the lead, Sasha Lenz looking down the inside as, oh no, Stefan Faas has got a problem. Stefan Faas is slowing down, he's dropping down the order and he's at the back, and I believe he's going to have pulled over already. Down the inside of Jochen Hahn goes Sasha Lenz though, puts his nose down the inside into turn 2. It looks like there's been a bit of a poor run out of turn 1 for Steffi Halm as well. Looks like Jose Eduardo Rodriguez might have gotten in front. Jochen trying to chase down Norbert Kish now. You can see the green shark fins on the 5th wheel from the Total Energies branding. And the field of 11 now with the reduced number goes down into turn 3. Side by side between Jose Eduardo Rodriguez and Steffi Halm. Maybe a little bit of contact between the two of them. Mid-corner, they lean on each other on the exit as well. But Jose Eduardo goes through. Mark Taylor there trying to defend from Louis Requenco as well. Luke Garrett just in front of John Newell, but it's Norbert Kish leading the way. Jochen Hahn second, Sasha Lenz third, Antonio Albacete straight out of the gate in front of Andrej Kurzim to take back 4th position and some more important championship points. He and Sasha are locked in battle at the moment, only 1 point between the two of them coming into this race. Sasha on 53 points, Antonio on 52. Seems like Stefan Faas is back up to speed now and really throwing the truck around. It's not smoke, it's just dust, don't worry. Really lobbing that Scania through the corners. Not quite sure what caused that moment of slowness out of turn 1. I thought potentially with them kicking the engine really hard at the start of the race it had maybe thrown a bit of a strop, but it seems not. Mark Taylor there just behind Steffi Halm, just in front of Louis Requenco. John Newell not able to get past Luke Garrett at this moment just yet. Possible contact noted between Jose Eduardo Rodriguez and Steffi Halm apparently from race control. Thanks again to Alex Holloway for sending the information consistently through to all of us commentators while the race is on. But Norbert Kish opens up a slight advantage over the first lap. Gets a decent run on Jochen Hahn. Sasha Lenz and Antonio Albacete close together behind that. Looked like John Newell and Luke Garrett were almost side by side into turn 13. But there is your race leader, Norbert Kish, starting to streak away a little bit at the front of the pack there. Once again, the battles this season between Andrej Kurzim, Jose Eduardo Rodriguez and Steffi Halm have been brilliant. And it seems like that we're going to get another one of those as well if Andrej doesn't already have a go at Antonio Albacete. For a moment there, we just saw John Newell get in front of Luke Garrett. He takes 10th place outright, 4th place in class as he tries to chase down more silverware. He's got 2 podiums so far this weekend in classes, John. And it'd be a brilliant way to reward the team for their hard work for fixing the turbocharger between qualifying and race 1 by getting some more silverware for them. The field relatively even at the moment though, all remaining in just the 1 train. As you see, it's not really a big split in the pack. The biggest split I'd say is from Luke Garrett back to Stefan Faas there, as Stefan had his issue coming out of turn 1. More and more dust being kicked up here as well. A couple of seasons ago the dust became a massive issue here at the Slovakia Ring. The visibility was awful throughout the entire final race because the wind had died down, so there was absolutely zero wind blowing any of the dust away. It was just lingering above the circuit. It was like a sandstorm had completely engulfed the place. But Norbert Kish has a lead of just over a second now from Jochen Hahn. Sasha Lenz dropping back a little bit from Jochen, but he's going to be focusing his attentions on defending from Antonio Albacete because Antonio, with the little rivalry they've got going on this season, will be doing his best to try and get back in front. Everybody now heading down into turn 8 once again. A very, very tough part of the circuit, turn 8, because it's a turned, sort of curved braking zone, while you're also trying to get the truck slowed down and then get back on the power as quickly as you can. It's not anywhere that's easy to navigate. Stefan Faas now catching up with the back of Luke Garrett, hoping to gain an extra place there from him. No further action on the contact that we had reported earlier on. It didn't really affect any positions or anything that could be seen as detrimental to anybody's result. There's a penalty marker warning going out for Luke Garrett as well, so he's clearly pushing to try and get back in front of John Newell. John now on the back of Louis Requenco. That's for 3rd place in their class. Mark Taylor, importantly at the moment, is on for 8th position outright, which would give him pole position for the final race of the weekend, race 4, coming up later on. There is Mark, just trying to chase down Steffi Halm. The Taylor's Truck Sport number 81 looking resplendent in its black, white and red livery here at the Slovakia ring. You can hear the horns being sounded in the grandstand there as the fans enjoy themselves. Black and white flag going out there. That's the penalty marker warning going out for Luke Garrett in truck 42. John Newell, by the look of it, going down the inside of Louis Requenco as well. Wants that silverware. Down the inside into turn 1 he goes. Is that going to open them up to a battle behind from anybody else? Not sure if Luke was close enough to take advantage of that. Steffi Halm moves to the right-hand side there to try and look down the inside of Jose Eduardo Rodriguez, just filling the mirrors. There is Newell and Requenco side by side. Louis on the outside now for turn 2. That's not going to work for him, and John is going to go through down the inside. There's Luke Garrett just off the back of this fight. You could see Requenco was actually hindered by being on that outside line there. There is a penalty marker warning going out for John Newell as well now, though, so clearly in his pursuit of Requenco he's been pushing a tiny bit too hard. There's a bit of bodywork damage there actually on the front right of Steffi Halm's truck as well. That bumper certainly affected by whatever happened earlier on. You can see it's just slightly out of place. It's like leaning forward away from the bodywork, or away from the bumper bar, so to speak, away from the front arch. But she tries to still chase down the Chrome class leader as well. Luke Garrett off the road big time. Where on earth is that? I think that might be down at turn 3 before turns 4 and 5. Yeah, I think it was at turn 3. But Luke way off the road there, maybe even on the way into turn 6 actually. Not quite sure what's gone on there. Some more penalty marker warnings coming in for Antonio Albacete and Mark Taylor. There's the battle for 3rd, 4th and 5th. Sasha Lenz, Antonio Albacete, Andre Kursim. Then we have Jose Eduardo Rodriguez, 6th overall, leading the Chrome class, with Steffi Halm for company. And I can confirm, thank you again to Alice, that it was Luke Garrett off between turns 5 and 6. So it's the little right-left as they head into the hairpin. Hopefully nothing major and nothing is broken. But Stefan Faas now moves back in front and goes up into 11th place, 5th overall. That's a couple more championship points for him. And thanks again to Lisa Garrett, who's just messaged me saying Luke's just lost all steering. The steering's gone again. It's an issue that they had previously, and it has crept back in, which is a huge shame to see. It's really not gone Luke's way this weekend. He's having a tough one. Said at the start of the season, though, that it was a new truck. They were still going to be effectively developing it on the fly while the season went ahead. But it's really proved to be a mischievous little sausage so far this season. John Newell there. Bit of a gap to Mark Taylor in front now, but he's got a bit of clear air to still push at least. So we'll see what his progress is like over the rest of the race. We're on to lap 4 out of 8 here at the Slovakia ring. This is round 7 of the 2024 Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. The likes of Ford Trucks on board as a partner this season, Yoast and Total Energies as well. Total Energies behind the 100% renewable HVO diesel that we run all of our race trucks on. There's one for your bingo card, Michael. Antonio Albacete trying to chase Sasha Lenz, but if anything, actually, Andre Kursim is closer to Antonio than Antonio is to Sasha. Andre Kursim's changed the setup slightly today, and they've really had it working. He set the fastest Sector 1 out of anybody during qualifying 3. Just around the rest of the lap, he didn't quite get it together, but it was a fantastic effort all the same. You can see the trucks bouncing this way and that way with the weight transfer from turn 4 to turn 5. Good to see that Stefan Faas was able to get back out there, but he's not been able to make any moves just yet. Still chasing down Louis Requenco is his countryman Antonio Albacete, trying to defend from Andre Kursim. Andre closing in all the time. Jochen Hahn staying very tidy in second position so far. Jochen's luck has been sort of running out in the sort of second and fourth races of the weekend. He's not always had the best of luck in the reverse grid events. He's dropped a few points, especially round 4 and 6 of the championship, where he's finished second to last in class actually each time. But here is that trio again, and all of a sudden Antonio Albacete looks a bit closer to Sascha Lenz now. So it's ebbing and flowing, this one. These guys just trying to stay in the chase. At the end of the day, you've got to be in it to win it, and if anything happens ahead, they can take advantage. But Antonio, with all of his experience now, putting his level head on and saying, look, we need to just stick with Sascha, do what we can do. Sascha, a remarkably quick driver. Hasn't won a race in the championship for quite a while, has Sascha, but he's surely on the brink of doing so at some point. When it comes to the reverse grid races in particular, his way of getting through the order is really strong. Sascha actually won the very first race that I commentated on this championship back at the Hungaroring in 2021. He took the first win of the season after an issue for Norbert Kish. I think it was the boost pipe came off down the start, finished straight in dramatic fashion on Norby's truck. And Sascha, like I say, winning the very first race I ever commentated in truck racing. Holds on to third at the moment. Again, still looking strong though. He and the team took that third place in the championship from Antonio at the very end of last season after a great scrap all year long. A scrap that, by the look of it, we're going to see again this year. I've mentioned it before now that there's only 1 point between them in the championship. Sascha on 53 points, Antonio on 52. There'll be 3 points between them after this one though, if it finishes the way it is. Sascha will just open up that gap a tiny bit. Just the odd position here and there makes all the difference in the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. It's always mighty close between all the drivers in the classes. It's a bit of a two-horse race already, I say that though. In the Chrome class, Stefan Faas and Jose Eduardo Rodriguez both tied on 75 points at the minute, some 27 points clear of Mark Taylor, John Newell and Louis Requenco, who are all within 6 points of each other, so it's close there. Unfortunately for Heinrich Clemens-Hecker, we don't have him here this weekend, so he's not able to score points. He had a good run of it at Misano despite a DNF in race 3. But another penalty marker warning go out, and that is to Jose Eduardo Rodriguez, who leads the Chrome class at the moment. He's got a bit of daylight between himself and Steffi Halm now, so doesn't need to defend too much. He can focus on trying to catch up with Andrei Kursim just in front. Stefan Faas is now ahead of Louis Requenco, as you see there. He's just done that on this sector as well, actually, by the look of it, as Stefan Faas. He's got the move done past the Spaniard, a man that won a race outright last season at Le Mans. Great way to finish the weekend for Louis. He had a great turn of fortune towards the end of the championship. I believe ended up finishing third as well in the what was known as the Promoters' Cup last season in the Chrome class. I think he stole it away from some of the drivers in the end. No, actually, it was John Newell, I think, that took it right at the end. And it was decided very late on in the championship. We're on to lap 6 out of 8, and it's still Norbert Kish leading the way. 3.8 seconds to the good. Jochen Hahn next up. Sascha Lenz still with his mirrors full of Antonio Albacete, and then Andrei Kursim. The field hasn't really spread out very much in this race. It's remained quite close and compact between everybody. There is Stefan Faas, still with Louis Requenco in his mirrors as well. Not sure if Stefan's having some sort of issues related to the problems that he had earlier on. Looks like he's actually under pressure from Louis as well here. Louis wanting that position back. No such concerns at the front of the field though for Norbert Kish. He's won every race so far this season, every pole position, continues on this epic run of form. But here's the battle for what is going to be 4th place in the Chrome class. No podium honours up for grabs here, but the two of them still hoping for championship points. There'd be 2 championship points in it, dependent on which position out of these that you finish in. Well, 2 championship points extra, I should say, if Louis Requenco gets in front of Stefan Faas. And we've seen championships decided by less. I think there was 1 point between some of the drivers last season, so just a sort of middle of the season race like this, or well, I suppose we're still very early doors, even an early season race like this could make all the difference. If you don't have to sort of recuperate any points and you're not on the back foot at any point, then it'll surely make you feel better about the entire campaign. Heading around turns 10 and 11, it's a great shot, that isn't it? It shows you the hairpin at turn 10, and then this sort of long 180-degree right-hander turn 11. They can still build up the boost, build up the power, but it's effectively a hairpin that goes into a chicane. Then they've got the little kink to the left through turn 12 on the exit. There is Steffi Halm. As you can see, all the dust being kicked up that's now falling over the start-finish straight. On to lap 7 out of 8. And Norbert Kish continues to extend that advantage now. 4.5 seconds. His last lap was 0.7 of a second quicker than Jochen Hahn. Jochen remaining in control of second place, though. A typically tidy result from him in his Iveco. And Antonio Albacete really closing in on Sascha Lenz there, actually. Oh, look, there is a big change in the positions as... Oh, I was just listening to Stefan Faas's Scania there just to see if there was any sort of change in the engine note. Didn't seem like it, but he's lost a lot of ground to Louis Requenco. And it was the middle sector, actually, for Stefan Faas. He was about 3 seconds slower than Louis in the middle of the lap, so I'm not quite sure what's caused that, whether there was a move for position and that's all that's dropped him off, but whether there was an issue in the engine for Stefan again. The battle is on for third place, though, as late on in the race here, looks like Antonio has either looked after the tyres a little bit more in this one, or whether he's just kept his head in the game a bit longer, and whether Sascha has sort of gotten a bit complacent with this late on stage in the race. But Antonio certainly putting him under pressure here. If he does actually get that position, he'll hop 1 point ahead of Sascha in the championship. So whichever of them finishes in front of the other here will be third in the championship after this race. Sascha using all of the road, a little bit more as well on his way into turn 8. Antonio tries to take a late apex to try and cut back. It looks like he might have got it done. Sascha lights up the rears on the exit, stays just in front on the short run down to turn 9. Long left-hander then as they set themselves up for the run over the crest of turn 10. They'll emerge any moment now. There they are. Antonio looks to the inside. Sascha comes over to the middle of the road, says, "Not on your life, sunshine." No door there. Antonio very close to the back of the Apollo Tyres branded machine. Gives him a little bit of a bump mid-corner. Sascha says, "No thank you, I'll still have the inside line for the next corner." Dab of the brakes to help rotate the truck through. Then they go through turn 12, both hard on the power now. All 1,200 horsepower in both trucks unleashed over the crest of the hill. Great racing here near the sharp end of the order. Seemed like it was a predetermined result earlier on, but it's certainly coming alive now. Andrei Kurzim just behind these pair as well in the number 11 Iveco. Could he get his first podium of the season? There is Jochen Hahn coming around the final corner. And then the next trio. Final lap now begins. Last lap board is held out. And Norbert Kish crosses the line to start said lap. There is Jochen Hahn, and there's the rabble behind Sascha Lenz. One more lap to hold on in front of Antonio Albacete. Antonio definitely on the attack here. We've got Jose Eduardo Rodriguez still leading the way in the chrome category. He's all but got this job done by the look of it. He's got a long gap back to Mark Taylor. He's got Steffi Halm between them as well. But Sascha Lenz, Antonio Albacete and Andrei Kurzim all of a sudden could all score podium finishes here in round 7 of the season. As they go round turn 2. They'll go over the crest again towards turn 3. These sort of artificial little hills here at the Slovakia ring are certainly endearing. Antonio is going to look to the inside. Is he going to try anything on the brakes? Is he just going to try and go as late as he dares? He's going to try and force a mistake from Sasha Lenz. It always looks like they're going in too deep into turn 3, but it's such a long corner. They can carry an immense amount of pace into there. They sort of square the corner off as well. They sharpen it up. They don't just cling to the apex all the way around. They fly past the curb at one point and then sharpen it up on the exit to get the slingshot down towards turn 4, 5 and then 6. That's where they are now. Hard on the brakes into 6. Keep the truck at bay. Stop that rear end from coming around and over rotating. It's all very clean at the moment, isn't it? Much like the HVO diesel that we run on. Love you, Patrick. Patrick, the graphics guy, loves my segues into those. We've got Antonio Albacete, though, very much not loving looking at the back of Sasha Lenz's truck anymore. Andre Kurzim even getting a little bit cheeky there, looking to the inside before turn 9. There's Norbert Kish coming through turn 10 at the bottom of the hill. He's now going to make his way around 11 and 12, and by the look of it, continue on for his 7th win out of 7 this season. The rest of the order is yet to be determined, though, as Sasha Lenz tries to defend his very best from Antonio Albacete. Andre Kurzim climbing around all over the back of them. It's going to be a great finish between these three. Through the left-hander at turn 12. Over the crest. Lovely shot of the three of them now powering their way over the hill in front of the grandstands. Final moment now for Antonio Albacete. Is he going to try and do what we saw Norby do yesterday? Take a late apex into turn 13. I can tell you that Norbert Kiss has just rounded the final corner and is going to take the checkered flag and his 7th win on the bounce. Amazing stuff from Norbert Kiss. Continues this run of dominance. Second place is going to go the way of Jochen Hahn. More big championship points for him. And let's wait and see. How do they emerge? It's still Sasha Lenz from Antonio Albacete and then Andre Kurzim side by side between the latter. But Sasha Lenz gets a podium. Very well done to him. He extends his lead slightly over Antonio in the championship, and it is Jose Eduardo Rodriguez who hops to the top of the championship in the Chrome class. Steffi Halm finishes in 7th place. A great podium that for John Newell. 2 British drivers on the podium there. Mark Taylor's best result of the season with a 2nd place in that race. Big points for John Newell as well. Like I said before, a great reward for the team for getting it fixed between races. Louis Requenco was next up. I'm not sure if Stefan Faas is going to finish, actually. No, he is there. He's just lost out big time. And that is a big blow to his championship campaign. That drops him 12 points behind Jose Eduardo Rodriguez. That's how quickly the championship can shift. They were tied on points going into that race. And he's now 12 back. It shifts so quickly, but what doesn't shift, or well, does shift, is Norbert Kish at the front. He was absolutely flying there, wasn't he? But he cannot be shifted, it seems. Inevitable win for Norby there at the front of the field, it has to be said. Jochen Hahn 2nd place, and Sasha Lenz in 3rd. A solid drive by Jochen again. 6 seconds back in the end. Sasha Lenz, great defensive drive there. Antonio Albacete threw everything at him before the end of that race, but unfortunately doesn't get the silverware this time round. It's Norby's 7th visit to the podium and the 7th time he's been on the top step of it. That's Sasha Lenz's 4th podium of the season. And that also highlights Jose Eduardo Rodriguez's 5th win of the campaign. Mark Taylor's 2nd podium, John Newell's 4th podium of the championship. That's John's 3rd in a row as well. And Stefan Faas was classified in the end in 11th place. Unfortunately, though, Luke Garrett's earlier issue sees him on the sidelines for that one and no points scored there. A tough campaign so far for Luke with 3 DNFs to his name. Hopefully the fortunes will turn around for them. But a great entertaining race though. Plenty of battles all the way through, right to the end as well. Really kept us on the edge of our seats there, didn't they? Excellent, excellent behaviour. Nice and clean as well from the racing. You know, there was barely any contact in that one. I think it was only a tiny touch near the front of the race that got looked at. But Norbert Kirsch, I'm running out of superlatives for him at the moment, running out of good words to say, because it is just a constant that Norbert Kirsch and the team are right at the sharp end of the order, winning races. Thank you again to Alice from Race Control for confirming that there's no outstanding investigations or anything else. So the result will be as is. Lovely hearing from Paul Horton as well, actually, who's just messaged me saying he's really happy with the P8. That is Paul Horton from Mark Taylor's team. I should elaborate, sorry. But once again, Norbert Kirsch winning in the Titan class from Jochen Hahn and Sascha Lenz. And there is Sascha making his way in now. Antonio Albacete just behind. And we wait to see Jose Eduardo Rodriguez make his way into the pit lane as well. Norbert Kirsch takes the win then. Fantastic result for him and the team. Another big reward of points for them. Maximum score so far in this championship. Jochen Hahn next up in second place, and Sascha Lenz once again completing that trio of trucks 1, 2 and 3, positions 1, 2 and 3, which pleases my OCD. Antonio Albacete next up in fourth place. He got the jump on Andre Kurzim early on and held onto it, with Steffi Halm in sixth position, not able to get back in front of Jose Eduardo Rodriguez. More celebrations with the team for Norbert Kirsch and Revesh Racing. Big smiles on the face of Csaba Bacco as well. He's really over the moon with that. Like Norby said to us yesterday, they've struggled to get the balance right with the new regulations for this season, especially round here. But they certainly made it work that time round. There's your podium in the Chrome class. That is Jose Eduardo Rodriguez from Mark Taylor and John Newell. We'll confirm that on your screen just now. And it's Jose Eduardo Rodriguez taking it by 3.3 seconds from Mark Taylor. Mark had a good battle there, trying to chase down Steffi Halm, with John Newell completing the podium. Louis Requenco was next up after re-overtaking Stefan Faas, who unfortunately had some more issues in that race. Hopefully nothing that will affect them for the final race of the day. Important to note as well that Mark Taylor finished the race 8th outright. That will put him on pole position for the final race of the weekend. He's going to be on the front row with Steffi Halm. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez and Andre Kurzim will be behind them. So a great opportunity there for Mark to score big points from this final race and be right up there at the front of the class. We're going to go back down into the pit lane though, and we're going to speak to Lena.
Yes, of course, the champion himself. So yeah, quite an easy race, huh?
Not easy, you know, it's never easy. Especially the start was quite tight because Sascha had a very, very good start behind me. So he was very close before the first turn. So I was thinking like, who should I defend more, to Johan or Sascha? So I was kind of going in the middle, and then I see Sascha attacking Johan a little bit, you know, which again gives me a little bit of a gap right after the first turn, because they were side by side a little bit fighting for the position for turn 2. So, you know, good. And then after, I just, you know, had to look out for the tires so that we keep the tires alive in the end. You know, watch for the yellow flags. But yeah, after that I could build a gap again, and yeah, good job again from the Revesh Racing team and the guys, because yeah, you know, like I said before, the weekend started a bit difficult. On Friday with the free practice, the feeling was not good, but we made a step forward, definitely the victory.
And now we will have reverse grid, so for you it means more tactical driving and more fighting again.
Yeah, you know, reverse grid is always exciting. You never know what happens, but yeah, we will be there, you know, look for opportunities and try to take some.
I'm pretty sure he will, so let's see if I also, there he is, thank you so much. Sascha, come to me for a second. What a fight. I was like, if I was him, I would be really, really waiting for the checkered flag to finally wave, because like the last 2 laps, they were really hard. Huh?
Yeah, the last 2 laps it was really hard. I pushed on the beginning too much with the tire. In the last 2 laps, the tire was really shit. So yeah, I think for us was a really good result. So and now we go and we have a new trophy.
Yeah, I think you really deserve your trophy. You can go up already. And I don't know how you're feeling out there watching these races. In between, it's like, come on, guys, something has to happen. And once you had the start, immediately something happens. And this is why I like these races a lot. Just back to you.
Yeah, definitely. The action suddenly exploded onto our screen, didn't it, with that race? It really came alive at the end there. We had the sort of middle part of the race while they all waited to see where everybody was at, but they eventually got it all figured out. Jochen Hahn there with his lovely wife making their way to the podium, having a quick debrief over the race as well. And as you can see, a lot of people already crowded around the podium ready to go. But before we go up there, let's have a quick look at some of the highlights from that race, the third race of the weekend here at the Slovakia ring. Started in high spirits once again with the wonderful weather here at the Slovakia ring. Not too hot though, and a bit of cloud in the sky at least to give it some depth. Steffi Halm, looking for a good result on her birthday, was definitely in high spirits as well, and everyone was excited after an interesting qualifying session earlier. Some of the drivers' best qualifying of the season as well, to see whether they could convert that into decent points in the first race of the day. Norbert Kish got a typically good start. André Kurzim unfortunately dropped down a position behind Antonio Albacete off the line, and Stefan Faas seemed to have an issue in the opening stage but would eventually get back up to pace. Some of the penalty markers were getting sent flying and track limits were definitely avoided. Unfortunately, Luke Garrett lost all steering partway through the race and he would be out of this one, hoping to get it fixed and be back for later in the afternoon. The battle soon erupted in the Titan class though, as André Kurzim closed in on Antonio Albacete and he then closed in on Sasha Lenz for third position. There was a good scrap between Requenco and Stefan Faas a bit further down the order, but in the end Stefan Faas's issues would come back. A great chase by Antonio Albacete right towards the checkered flag, which would eventually remain stable in terms of position, but provided us with a lot of entertainment. Norbert Kish, 7 out of 7 so far, hoping to do 2 Grand Slams in a row. That has never been done before in the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship, and if anybody's going to do it, it's going to be Norby. But we'll have to wait and see. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez will be happy as well, by the way, taking a victory in the Chrome class. We cannot take that away from him. Podium presentation about to get underway now. We'll have our Titan podium first off, which will start with Sasha Lenz heading up there. As you could see a moment ago, a big smile on his face as he was saying that the team would be getting another trophy for their efforts. That's his 4th podium of the championship so far. And there are all the fans ready to go. All cheering away for Norby. He's got a fantastic fan base here. And it's all for Torsten, actually, our cameraman, as Sebastian has just confirmed behind the scenes for us. Everybody loves Torsten that much. He's a great guy. Fantastic character himself. Always lovely to work for. He keeps everybody in check, or at least I'm told he does anyway. He tries to. Let's just think of it that way. You can see as well, I have to point this out, the massive Norbrems inflatable in the background there actually belongs to Jochen Hahn and the team. It's a great bit of branding that they've popped there, to be honest. I'm not even sure if they knew that intentionally or knew that that was going to be the case where the camera was going to be. Either way, it looks great. Sasha Lenz, 3rd place, another podium for him, and a big cheer. And then 2nd place for Jochen Hahn. And then, can you tell they just announced Norbert Kish on the top step? Wow. Listen to that. Sasha Lenz receives his trophy for 3rd position. Jochen Hahn will receive another trophy for his warehouse in 2nd place. Very firm handshake from Jochen as well. Lovely trophies as well for this round of the championship. They look excellent. If any of the drivers don't want them, I'll send them my address. Norbert Kish gets another trophy, 7 wins out of 7 so far in this championship here in 2024. Continues to be a dominant force here and a big smile on his face. The best thing is, as well, is that every win means a lot to Norby. You know, he's not, he doesn't get bored of winning. There's no sort of, he doesn't hide it at all. He just really enjoys himself. It's brilliant. The horns sound once again for Norby. A great atmosphere. There was a lovely scene yesterday. Sasha joking about something there. Like I said yesterday, Sasha is a real character himself. Very entertaining guy, as you can see. He's just a naturally funny bloke, is Sasha Lenz. You know, I'm sure you've all got friends that are just naturally funny in everything that they do. You can see him and Jochen having a laugh about something. They usually are. He and Jochen, great friends, great rivals at the same time. And they all pose for their pictures. They have the changing of the hats. And now it's time for champagne, and I'm sure all of those lovely fans that are stood there by the grandstands will be absolutely drenched. Either that or the media will be as well. Sasha usually tends to aim for our cameramen, and Norby's going to go over and celebrate with the fans and drench them. Brilliant stuff. Another well-deserved win. Jochen gets in on it as well, so too does Sasha. Excellent stuff. And there, on the other end of the scale, is Luke Garrett's truck being removed from the circuit. Unfortunately, lost all steering, as mentioned earlier. Thanks to Lisa, by the way, for keeping me up to date with what's going on there. And back to the drawing board for the team before the final race of the weekend. Norbert Kish then 110 championship points now to the 81 of Jochen Hahn. 65 points for Sasha Lenz. He moves 3 points clear of Antonio Albacetti, with Steffi Halm still in front of Andre Kurzim there on 53 points to Andre's 48. Those two have had great fights on the circuit as well, and they have that in the championship table also, where every tiny single point matters between those guys. And they will be a source of entertainment for the entire championship, I am sure. Now we move on to the Chrome podium, and it's the third podium on the bounce for John Newell. He's having a good run of things so far, scoring big points this weekend. Even that turbocharger failure earlier didn't upset them. 2 Brits on the podium, with Mark Taylor making his way up there for his best result of the season, 2nd place. Some silverware for him, and Jose Eduardo Rodriguez once again in absolute fine form, taking his 6th podium and his 5th race win of the season. That's Jose's 4th on the bounce as well. He's been on the podium in every race except the one that he didn't finish so far this season. And the other drivers have got a lot of catching up to do. 2nd place trophy goes to Mark Taylor. Their first 2nd place of the season. Mark and the team worked really hard for that one. And then another winner's trophy going the way of Jose Eduardo Rodriguez. This young Portuguese driver is an absolute superstar. And now we'll get the Portuguese national anthem for him. And there you go, Portuguese national anthem for Jose Eduardo Rodriguez, another golden trophy to add to his ever-expanding collection here from the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. Mark Taylor and John Newell, also no strangers to a podium either. Very competitive drivers here and in the British Championship too. And it's time for champagne for the top 3 finishes in the Chrome class for round 7 of the championship. And everybody getting a quick drenching around them. You can hear the other series making their way out onto the circuit for their next event as the drivers go back, and we'll debrief with the teams. And this is how the Chrome Championship looks after that race. 95 points now for Jose Eduardo Rodriguez, 12 points ahead of Stefan Faas. And again, I reiterate, before that race, they were tied on points. That's how quickly the momentum can shift. Stefan Faas still holding on to second, though, 20 points ahead of Mark Taylor. He's got John Newell for company there, who now moves ahead of Louis Requenco in the championship. Heinrich Clemens Hecker remains in 6th place ahead of Luke Garrett and Bradley Smith. And with only one more race to go this weekend, the teams will certainly put all of their efforts into making sure it goes as smoothly as possible. I'm going to say goodbye for now, though, everybody. It's been an absolute pleasure once again, and I will see you a little bit later on this afternoon for the final race of the weekend. But for now, I'll hand back over to Lena.
I'm glad I'm finally getting to speak to all British drivers, and it's so loud from all the fans from Norbert Kiss. I hope you will be able to bring some more from the UK soon, so you will have the same sound once you're back on the podium.
Well, we'll have plenty of people coming to Nürburgring because everybody's looking forward to it. But today has been a good change round for the weekend. Though we started off bad yesterday, but now we're picking a pace up through the weekend.
Yeah, I think it's a nice feeling to take a trophy back home, isn't it?
Oh, definitely, yeah. It brings all the team up and everybody, and it shows that everybody who's working hard, it all pays off.
And you have been collecting points, which is also important for the total season. Just like you did, John, with the new turbo.
Yeah, definitely. It was hard work from the back, but we had a good few battles to get through. And by that time, the tyres had gone, so I couldn't catch Mark. He was driving quick. So it was good for us both to be on the podium.
Are you starting out next to each other now? Do you know? Because I don't. Will you be standing next to each other now in the starting grid? Do you know?
Yeah.
No, I'm on pole.
Oh, because it's reverse grid. Oh, so you have a lot of defending to do.
Just a bit, yeah.
All right, so bear with us, come back. It's going to be 20-4, 3:40. We will be back for you. Come to the live stream and watch them fight for the next gold. Where is it? Or silver or whatever it is. Thank you so much. See you, Lenk. Bye-bye. Thank you, Mark. Really lovely.